Yeah, geez, right on. We have a special guest star.
You didn't close the door, Todd.
Oh yeah, we do have...
Got the rehearsal coming in.
We got performers coming in. That's a fact.
Man, oh man.
Yeah, no, it's full spectrum, full service.
Spectre, because you were talking about ghosts last week.
Man.
Yeah. So anyway, Todd, you let us know.
Oh, yeah.
When it's time.
We've been recording.
Oh, it's recording? Oh, how are you doing? And welcome to Our Town Podcast Extraordinaire. Coming to you from the historic Renton Civic Theater in beautiful, beautiful downtown Renton, Washington. How nice is this?
Yeah.
Great.
How's everybody doing?
I don't know. It's sweltering in this room, but otherwise it's good.
It's a little warm out.
It's going to be,
It's like springtime.
Yeah, no, it's like
Spring
62. I'm out far.
Yeah. Well, to my left is the man himself, Mayor Mike.
Okay.
To my right is Cousin Todd on the big board. And we got a new face this week. Special guest star, Emilio from D-Pad, a gaming store right here in beautiful Renton.
Oh, yeah.
And you also run what I'm told is Renton City Retro, right?
Yes.
Just coming up.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here and talking to you guys.
Yeah, awesome. And this is going to be like a video game discussion, right?
Oh, man.
So Mike and I are going to be kind of the,
the Luddites,
the small bus guys.
short bus.
But bear with us.
Only tic-tac-toe. It's the only game that ever mattered in human history.
Bingo.
Hey, loteria in Spanish.
So Emilio, tell us, man, tell us about Retro City Retro. Renton City Retro. I'll get it right. And,
Renton City
what's going on with that? It's coming up pretty soon, right?
Yeah, it is. It's coming on Mother's Day weekend. If you're not doing anything and you want to leave your mom at home, give her a day off, bring the kids and the family, or, bring the mom. And
if she's into gaming and she's a nerd, yes, she might want to go.
Sure.
Exactly. Renton City Retro, we're going on our 9th year here in Renton. Originally started in Lake City Community Center. We outgrew that venue the first year, I think, and then went to Kent the next year, and then here we are in Renton, and we're here to stay.
Bringing it home.
Yeah,
so you guys are going to be at the Pavilion Building, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Where they have the farmers
Piazza?
market. The Piazza. That's right.
The Piazza is the park outside, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the Renton Pavilion is
It's a nice facility.
It really is, yeah.
Yeah, we'll be there this year again. And this year is the first year that we'll be at full capacity. No more. There's still COVID going on, but some of the limitations have been lifted. So we're excited to bring the arcades and the pinballs and the consoles. And
Nice.
the full effect.
Nice. How many vendors are going to be there?
There is over 45 vendors right now in there that I can jam-packed. There's going to be mostly video game. It's a video game convention, so it'll be mostly retro gaming, new console gaming, video game related art. People from California flying to sell their stuff from all over. I'm really excited this year, and we'll talk about it more as we get to it. But there's a lot of people flying in from this.
That's pretty cool. And then I think Todd mentioned that there's probably going to be like cosplayers,
and there's special guests, and you can tell them about the guests, man. That's what I think a lot of people are really excited about.
Yeah,
At least the people I've told anyhow. They're like, oh my God, really?
Yeah.
I need to go. I love that show.
I think out of everything I'm going to talk about, I'm really happy that it's happening in Renton, because a lot of people are used to seeing this in big conventions like Seattle, San Diego Comic-Con, New York. And what the residents of Renton don't know, that we're bringing some heat this year that's causing all these people to fly in to come see the guests that we're bringing to Renton City Retro.
Okay, can you give us some hints, or not even hints, but just drop some names?
Absolutely. I mean, whether you're in the gaming industry or in the anime industry, we're bringing popular voice actors, Steve Bloom, that plays Spike on Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
And then also Steve Bloom is Vincent on Final Fantasy VII. And then what is that command? I'm not a Star Wars guy. Everybody gives me crap.
Zeb.
But Zeb, he's also Zeb.
Jeez, all
And
right.
he was in the Mandalorian episode.
Oh, nice.
So Steve Bloom's face, you can
Jeez, that's
see
legit.
it.
Well, you don't see his face. You see Zeb's face, but his body's there.
His eyes. Nope.
His
You see
eyes. That's true. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because Zeb
That's
has
right.
blue eyes. And
Which character was he?
He was the alien that the Asian dude talks to in that one episode.
So Rebels. So he's one of the...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But he was also in The Mandalorian. He was like the tall, purplish, blue-looking guy.
Nice.
Is Zeb from Rebels? Or
Yes.
Rebels, right? Yeah, okay.
Rebels,
So I was
yeah.
right.
Yep.
Yeah, so he's...
He was part of the Ghost crew. So yeah.
That's what it was.
Okay.
Yep.
And I see somehow with video games, you've worked in a burlesque show.
Yeah, I did.
Dude,
I mean, why not?
Let me back
I've
you up,
seen
though.
the Burlesque show, and it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome.
Let me back you up, though, because I got to tell you the rest of the guests. That was just one. One of the things that we're really proud of doing is, so if you've seen Cowboy Bebop, there's a romance story between Steve's character, which is Spike, and character Julia. They were in love in the anime, and they actually got married in real life.
Yeah.
While working together. So we brought Spike and Julia. Mary Elizabeth McGuinn is very hard to book. She's an amazing singer, director, writer. Did a lot of songs on Silent Hill 3. So again, see how we're doing video game and then anime. So
Sure.
yeah, and then she's also the voice actor in the dub Ghost in the Shell.
Oh,
So
okay.
if you saw that old, I think it was 95 Ghost in the Shell. Yeah, that's her. And then if you're a Tekken player, back to video games, Nina Williams. So yeah, we try to
Jeez.
get that that circle in there to make it so then gamers and anime watchers come, and that's just two other guests, and then.
She's and other voice actors. Right?
Yeah, which is we also got Jet to complete the Cowboy Bebop, and then Ed, which is Melissa Fon and Blue Billinger. And I mean that right there, people were like, "Oh my God, are you gonna get the fifth one?" We tried. We were all on board. It was funny. We were all doing this meeting. We're like, "Hey, we're doing a huge Cowboy Bebop reunion." And she booked somewhere else.
Thanks, Faye.
I know, Faye. Thank you. But no, man, we've had
Kind of the most tragic of all of them, really.
Yeah. So yeah, she pulled that tragic move on us.
Yeah, thanks. She's got a lot of trouble she's working through as a character. Geez, that's a lineup. That's fantastic.
I actually need to watch the show. I have only seen clips of it online.
Geez, it's
on
all-time-
it's on
one of the all-time
Netflix, so I'm going to watch
greats. It really is. It's good TV. It really is.
As I understand it, that's the show that inspired Firefly, is Cowboy Bebop. I don't know if that's necessarily true or not, but that's what I heard. I heard a lot of people say it's just basically Cowboy Bebop. I don't know why people are, I was like, okay, I've not seen either one at that point.
What is Cowboy Bebop on? Where can you get it right now?
Netflix.
Is it? It's not the one that they just came out with.
No,
That was
they
their
got
live action.
Netflix.
That's the live-
Netflix has both.
Okay.
So it has the original and the live action.
And the live action was panned pretty hard, right?
Hey, it was decent.
It
I don't
was
know.
all
I'm
right.
not
I
mad
think
that they made
it didn't stay true to the source. There was a different storyline or
Well,
something.
and I felt like they didn't pick a. Are they going to go kind of? The Robert Rodriguez, Frank Miller films, you know what I mean? Where it's kind of a
Noir or
motion. No, just it's a motion comic book. It looks
Oh,
too
gotcha,
national.
gotcha.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's following that kind of screen, but the Cowboy Bebop did occasionally, but they didn't stick with it, so they weren't quite sure what art direction they were going.
Oh,
and I think that kind of, because in the anime it's not that way. They picked a direction and ran with it.
Yeah, Last of Us shows us that you can make something very, very close to the game.
Sure, yeah.
So, there was no excuse there, Netflix.
Yeah.
Hey, Emilio, you've seen both Last of Us and The Walking Dead, yeah?
Yeah.
How would you say one is better than the other, or are they about the same as far as like being as good as they are? Because I know a lot of people love both shows.
Being a Walking Dead fan, I see why AMC did some changes, kind of like F you, Kirkland. But they're both good.
Okay.
They're both good in their own way. I liked how AMC did some changes because I didn't like what Kirkland did in the comics.
Yeah.
But at the end, it was.
Yeah, I would say the first few seasons of Walking Dead, it was comparable to The Last of Us as far as good, but they're such divergent stories. They're so different. I know it's post-apocalyptic.
And that's kind of how I looked at it. It's like this. I watched the first episode of Last of Us. It's like I'm getting a very heavy like Walking Dead vibe from this.
Yeah, once they get out of Boston, then it's not a heavy Walking Dead.
And the character dynamics aren't as important.
So
right?
has season 1 completed, or are they still going?
Nope,
So I'm going to probably binge season 1 then.
Yeah, it's good TV, man. It really is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're not wasting your time on that one.
Yeah. So let's get back to burlesque shows. How did that come about,
Seemed
man?
inevitable.
So it seems like everybody loves these burlesque shows.
Yeah.
Originally, we did the first burlesque show with RenCon. Before, now it's called King Con.
Oh,
so when Renton City Comic Con was created, it was with me, Brian, and Ben. We had VJ. I know a lot of you guys know who VJ is.
Yeah.
And VJ is a theater director, and he was like, hey guys, I think we should do a burlesque show. We have the Civic Theater, the convention's right down the street. Why not? And we're like, hey, that sounds like a great idea. What do you have? The rest is history. VJ is an amazing producer, always brings in talent. And all of our plays or scenarios that we do for the burlesque is nerd related. To the theme that we have that year. So this year it's the Big D pad joystick, or
I was going to say, wait a minute, the Big D. I'm like, what?
The Big D energy or something like that.
The big D-pad energy, I think is what it was.
Yeah, the Big D-pad energy. So we always, it's video game related. We'll have video game themed shows.
Silly puns and
I don't know. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
That's great.
I actually when I saw that I was like, that's clever.
The last one we did was it was a nerd's moist dream. And it was great.
That's way too broad.
Shira, Hulk, Captain America,
I think that's the one I saw.
Yeah, it was just
dude, the Hulk, the Hulk burlesque. I was like, I don't know what to expect from this, but I was like, oh, okay, very cool.
Nice.
It was one of the most liked performance because it was so emotional.
Okay.
And a lot of people weren't expecting to see an emotional dance or performance on the show after they got done seeing like She-Ra stripped down, right?
Sure.
Wasn't there one that was like a backwards burlesque too? That was like they started with no clothes and they ended up with clothes.
Yeah.
Which one was that? I can't remember who that was now.
I think I had a lot of drinks in, so after a while, and that's the point of it, right? Have fun.
Yeah.
Everything becomes a blur.
Was that and again going to be held here?
Here at the
in
Civic
theater,
Center.
yeah.
All right. Well, go to RentonCivicTheater.org and check out all the upcoming
Or
stuff.
RentonCityRetro.com,
And I think
right?
VJ's going to be in the building tonight.
Oh, is he?
yeah?
He's directing our next production.
Oh, okay. So
nice.
they're already rehearsing for the next one?
Dude, we should
wow.
get him on the
'Cause
show at
it's a
some
big
point.
show.
Yeah.
It's like, and that's
a
only like
major
6
show.
weeks. Right? So, almost 7 weeks.
It's a musical.
It's Rent.
Oh, geez.
Yes.
Yeah, that is a big show.
Yeah. So that is a big show.
All right, right on. Right, so everybody loves burlesque. If you don't, then there's something wrong with you. That take place like the opening night or something kind of thing.
So the way our schedule is going to be, I can break it down to you. Friday, we're having a pre-funk party with all our influencers that we have at the Lancey's, and you guys are more than welcome to come.
Love that joint.
Yeah, we'll have it at the Lancey's. There'll be drinks. There'll be entertainment, comedy. There's a magician show. Edica, if you guys know Ed, very good
He was funny last year. I saw him last year. But the comedians were good too.
Yeah, we got Jeremy coming back, and Ed's doing a whole new magic show, and then we'll also provide food and just kind of like a meet and greet for all the people.
I'll go to that. You really let me in the door?
Yeah, I'll let you in the door,
Okay,
man.
I'm in. All right.
But
You're gonna have to shave though, Mike.
No. You come in like that, they'll think you're an influencer and they won't talk
Well,
to you.
they're not wrong.
No, they're not. 'Cause you got a podcast, though. So all our infos will mingle with the people, have more of an intimate time and have a drink. And, those kind of experiences you don't get, right? Because you go to a convention and you talk to them and you fan out and that's it, next. But on this one, our fans are paying for extra intimacy. It comes with drinks. It comes with exclusive prints. It comes with access to the Burlesque show. That's just Fridays. And for the people, because it's limited, for the people that can't make it to that, we have a hotel at the Sinesta here in Renton. We're having a trade night.
Nice.
And the trade night is like, hey, if you couldn't make it to, because it's sold out, which is almost sold out. If you can't make it to VIP, no worries. We got another event. You can come in there. You're not paying extra. People are putting out tables in the lobby. We're going to trade. We're going to have pajama parties. So, there's going to be multiple parties. Because remember, guys, I'm hopefully bringing 2,000 to 3,000 people that weekend.
Yeah, well.
So we can't fit them all in one building, right?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah, you got to diversify.
Yeah, so that's the Friday schedule. And then Saturday after the show, first we'll have the panels, which are going to be cool. And you can find all the panel schedules online. Then we'll have the big cosplay contest that's happening at 3 o'clock, which I can get to that too. We have some people coming from Utah and all over the place that are cosplayer influencers. Then after the cosplay contest, we're having the Burlesque show.
Okay.
And then for the people that couldn't make it for Burlesque show, we're leaving the doors open because we actually have probably 30 arcades in there. And we're going to let people geek out, and then we'll close out the vendor hall. That way, nobody's like, what do I do? You just go back in there. You can play the games. We close doors at 10. Then you go to 8-bit, do the same thing, have a beer.
Right on.
So that is it for this Friday and Saturday schedule. Sunday was kind of like the lowdown, see how many people are hungover. But we will have panels there, but it'll be more low-key, right?
Yeah.
And still people are able to purchase stuff from vendors.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Sunday's a good buy-in day.
Yeah, 2 days of nonstop buying video games, art. There is a Super Smash Brothers tournament and an NBA 2K22
Sure. Oh.
and a pinball tournament. And there's cash prizes, man. We're offering $1,000 for a Smash winner, and we're offering, I think, $500 for pinball winners. So we're throwing money out there for these guys.
Yeah, geez, great job.
Nice.
And this is a, kind of off-subject question, but can anybody make, new Nintendo cartridges?
Absolutely. I have one of my influencers there. Check
yeah.
this out. His name is John Riggs. You guys can look it up. John Riggs on YouTube. And what he does, he hacks the NES ROMs and he can put your face on there. And you can have your own video game.
That's pretty cool.
What?
I saw that guy last year.
Yeah.
He did some cool stuff.
There was a time where a lot of people loved that. They would give a gift to their spouse or something. And then they would have depending on what game, he'll have a list that's easy for him to, pixelate you and stuff.
Yeah.
But and then there's also the home groups. There's a group called Game Losers that would be there, and they create their games too, and they advertise it, and you get to try out all new games.
Yeah, that's great.
No, right on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is your what year?
9th year.
9 years, man. That's pretty good.
So this is number 7 in Renton?
This is number 7 in Renton.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Lucky number 7. It's going to rock.
Yeah,
Yep.
it is.
Nice. What got you into? You got the store, right? And we could talk a little bit about your store as well. But what inspired doing the whole
show?
Yeah.
I think I originally I started the store in 2000, I believe. And I started in a bizarre time where the recession was hard, and opening up a store was not the best thing to do, right? But I got laid off, and I had nothing to do. And I remember eBay was a thing, and everybody's like, "Hey, yeah, you should sell some stuff on eBay." My mom saw a 40-year-old virgin with me, and she's like, you got a bunch of crap in your basement. Why don't you sell some of that, man? I'm sure it's worth money.
Figures, Mom.
Yeah. What are you talking about, man? It's my Metal Gear stuff. I bought it in high school. Well, she had a point. She was right. And the rest is history, right? I was unemployed and sold some stuff on eBay. And then I hit a couple of, you can look it up on YouTube. I've been lucky and found some stuff that I've been able to sell for $15,000 and stuff like that. You know, you hear those stories about, you know, Spider-Man or X-Men #1 and guy cashed out.
Yeah.
The Hills of Comics brother, right?
Sure.
Yeah, Hills of Comics just scored too, and John Hill.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how my history went, and you know, the passion of you loving these things where you hang out with people and they do like little yard sales or little community meetups. I mentioned trade night on Friday. That's how it starts. You know, you hang out with a couple buddies, you invite them, they come over, you rent out like a little, like, parking lot or something, and you just say, hey, if we buy food, can we use your parking lot? Next thing you know, you're in the community center. Next thing you know, you're in the Renton City Convention Center, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how that started. And then the store, after running it for so many years, now my brother owns it because I've been focusing so much on the convention, and that takes up a bunch of time. And what a lot of you guys don't know is that I run multiple. And I'll give you a spoiler because this excites me more than what I'm talking about now. But last year, if you didn't know, I did a Hot Wheels one.
Right on.
I think I remember. I actually think I came down for a little bit too.
Yeah,
Cool.
and man, we had like video games hooked up with Hot Wheels. We had Hot Wheel tracks. Like me and the kid, like I felt like the adults were like, "You needed an excuse to open all those toys." I did.
Dude, I actually went over to his house once when I first moved to Renton years ago, back to Renton rather, I should say. And I crashed at his house one night, and I came over. He had I don't know, was that your garage that had all this stuff on the shelves and stuff, or was that like a back room?
Oh, that was the toy room.
He had this massive room, and it was all Pops and G.I. Joe. And he had some G.I. Joes that I'd never seen before. I was like, what is this from? These were special editions and shit. I hadn't even known that they existed. He had it was the F-14?
The aircraft carrier. A lot of people know me also as a huge G.I. Joe collector, and I had like
massive collection.
Massive.
Like
You're talking the 80s.
The 3 3/4, man.
Yeah, not the 12.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Not the 70s Kung Fu
day.
grip guy.
No, the Kung Fu grip didn't happen until the 80s, man.
Yeah, yep. I was a huge tanker is what they call it. And with my second divorce, so I got divorced for one marriage, didn't learn my lesson, got married again. But on the second one, I needed something to cope, so I started collecting a lot of 3 3/4. And I had everything. I had like the aircraft carrier. I even have a picture, which I'll show you guys later, where I put the aircraft carrier on a floating mattress on a big pool so my son can play with it. And we had like the big old Jurassic Park, that big dinosaur on the third movie.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
So we had that, and I had the hell carrier. I was just like, I want to die happy. And my son.
When you send us the pictures, I'll put them on the Facebook page so people can see at home.
Yeah, I'll do that. And but on the second one, I was like, I need to forget her. So I got rid of everything that reminded me of escaping one reality, and I got rid of that, right? And everybody's laughing. And I was like, okay, you got rid of all your Joes. Now you're on your second marriage. What are you gonna get rid of them? I'm like, leave me alone. I like my collection right now. But that's kind of why I love this stuff. It's just the passion. I didn't do this to one day be like, oh, we're gonna make a lot of money and stuff. No, I did it because I get to meet people like you and vibe with people like you, right? And we sit in this corner, and you understand we're not making any money, but we're having a lot of fun, right? And it's those moments when you take and you go home and you're like, oh, that
You get to reminisce.
yeah.
But he had the G.I. Joe jet fighter that was painted to look, it was made to look like Starscream from Transformers, and I was tripping out on that. I was like, oh my god, this is a G.I. Joe jet, but it looks like Starscream. This is awesome.
Yeah, they're both Hasbro properties, right?
Yeah.
It was a
crossover thing,
It
wasn't
was
it?
a San Diego exclusive crossover where they it was a Sky Striker that was Starscream, and then they did one with what's the other one with I can't remember right now.
Thundercracker.
Yeah, no, not Thundercracker. He has the red on top. Jetfire.
Oh yeah.
They did a Jetfire too. Like I said, I was hard into Joe's, man.
Nice.
That's right.
Nice. I don't know, Mike. What about you? What was your big collection? Anything?
Jeez. It's broken hearts, man.
For me, as a kid, my huge collection was Star Wars. I had all the action figures. I had all the. I had a photograph. I got the Millennium Falcon and a bunch of Stormtroopers and Luke and Han and Chewbacca and all that stuff. I set it up on the dining room table like a scene from the movie, and my mom took a picture. I had that picture forever. I don't know what happened to it, but that was like the greatest Christmas ever.
I had a friend that was a year older than me, and his parents, very wealthy, very nice people, very wealthy, but set him up with the Millennium Falcon, both the Vader TIE Fighter and a regular TIE Fighter. He had X-Wing, he had the Land Speeder, he had everything, right? Man. I had a few things, I think I had an X-Wing, and I had like the core group of action figures, right? And Mom would go bring me one like every few weeks. Here's another one I found at the store. But me and this kid were talking. He's like, do you want all my Star Wars stuff? I'm like, hell yeah. He's like, how about $100? And I'm like, freaking 10 years old trying to figure out how to come up with $100 and 80 something, right? Well, the moms got together, and his mom just said, no, you can have it. And I got it all.
That's awesome.
Star Wars rich for several years. And then it went into a box, and I think, Mom probably.
Oh, geez.
It probably
Goodwill did.
Goodwill did. I had my collection of Star Wars stuff until I was like 15, and then I sold it at a family garage sale for like $50.
Damn.
And someone says, "Are you sure you want to sell this stuff?" I was like, "Dad, I don't play with this stuff anymore, and Star Wars isn't a thing anymore." So
Little did he never be popular.
Well, I mean, you gotta think I was when I was 15, so it was like 1987.
Yeah,
so it had been about 5 years since the last movie. And and about 5 years after that, I had a price guide for action figures, and I looked up Luke Skywalker, and motherfucker sold in like 1989, 1990, sold if it was in the box for like $300. In like the early 90s. Can you imagine what it's worth today?
Yeah, that same guy went to Todd's house. Do you have Yoda's cane?
Oh man! So
that cane goes for like $100.
Are you a bit of a picker when it comes to like finding stuff, or do you just look online and?
Oh no, man! I've been hunting for like 15 years, man. I love doing. That's my thing.
The hunt is part of it.
The hunt is good, especially
it's just the probability, the improbability of finding these things, man. It's like,
well, you came over yesterday and saw what I had in the garage. So I've got.
It's great.
At Goodwill, found the giant X-Wing that was used as the display, the Kenner display, years and years ago, and the Millennium Falcon one. And they don't do much; they're just display stuff. But both found at Goodwill. Probably paid a few bucks for them. Yeah, but I found the X-Wing twice.
Nice.
I found it.
And that's the best, right? When you find it for like $2.
Oh, yeah.
It's nothing worse.
Dude.
It's nothing worse than going there and it says 200 and you're like, oh, man.
That's when someone knows where it is.
Trying to get me for $2. I mean, what's Goodwill ever done?
Right.
It's missing the cane.
It's gotten worse, man, because they've been raising the prices up. But that's me, because I drive around all day for my day job. But every time I'm done with whatever appointment I have is like Value Village, Goodwill. Okay, that's one. I shoot over there.
That was one of the things me and my mom used to love doing, is we'd go to thrift stores on weekends. We would go garage sales and thrift shopping, and I would always hit the toy aisle because I was always looking for old toys that I had as a kid that I would want to reacquire as an adult. And my mom always, why are you buying this shit now? It's like, because I had it as a kid and I no longer have it.
You got rid of it, Mom.
Yeah. But we could trace this directly back if you want us to.
You want to hear something funny? About 10, 15 years ago, back when the Mopop was the EMP and the Sci-Fi Museum, they had on display the actual model of the Death Star in the museum, and the story of how it was found in a dumpster.
Oh, man.
Was on the placard, and basically when
thanks, Lucas.
Well, no, it wasn't even Lucas. It was Fox. Fox was emptying out their warehouse, and they just threw away a bunch of shit.
Nobody called dibs on that shit.
Nobody. It was like the mid '80s, dude. Nobody fucking cared.
Yeah.
You know, it was. This is before like collecting that kind of stuff was even
What are
huge.
you doing with a 3-foot ball? Fragile plastic ball. Where's that going?
And the
Carrying
thing is,
apartment to apartment every
It's
time
called
you move.
storage,
and shit.
man.
You know, so somebody found it and they didn't really know what it was. Like, that's kind of cool. I'll use it, and they put it in the front of a bar, and it was like this thing for they put tickets or whatever into for door prizes and shit. And somebody came into this bar and saw it sitting there in front of the bar and go, I know what the fuck that is. You guys want to sell this thing? And they're like, how much you want to? And then they negotiated, and he got it from the bar, and then he restored it, and that's who owned it and was on loan to the museum at the time. So I have a photo of it. It's in a dark room, and it just had a big red button on it, and you walk up and hit the button, and it plays the Imperial March, and it lights up and everything.
Wow.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome.
That's
Nice.
cool.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, I do the same thing. I mean, I'll pick all kinds of stuff, but board games is my thing. So I always look for rare or unusual board games that I can get at Goodwill that are, a lot less than I would pay.
I got
retail.
something good for you. May
No.
26, 28, there's a board game convention in Renton called Evergreen Tabletop.
I just saw this. Yeah. A few days ago.
I sent it to you. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll enjoy that.
I was like, hey, check this out.
Yeah.
Where's
Yeah,
that at? Do you know?
At Pavilion Center, too.
Oh, there you go. Jeez. I'm glad the pavilion's getting used, man.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And for me, I've never really collected anything. I like the comics I buy, I read, right?
Just
And I
arts.
follow the same titles or whatever. Yeah, and Magic the Gathering, right? But I play with my cards, so I don't have any super skookum cards.
Something that you would put into a case and set it on a shelf.
I don't think I own anything that way.
So I think I shared it with both of you guys. I saw this story. Somebody posted it to one of the groups I'm in on Facebook that Activision is doing a strategy board game based on Call of Duty. Have you?
Yeah, I seen that.
I was like, this is essentially it's going to be Dungeons and Dragons with machine guns.
Yeah.
John Wick style.
John Wick
There's some
style.
decent
Yeah, he has a
video
first
game to
striker,
board
for sure.
games that are good. I've got a Fallout one that's pretty good, and especially like it because you can do a solo play on it. But a lot of times they don't translate very well.
I
It's
can't
just
imagine
the
they
universe,
would. I
right?
mean,
It just adopts the flavor of it.
Are you having to stop every 5 feet to roll for dexterity and for are you
time
going to
you
hit
do
the
a combat
target?
roll.
Are you going to is there like roles for being a camper in the game so you can sit in one spot and just pick people off?
No camping on the board games.
Yeah. Yeah, right on.
Have you found any rare board games lying around?
Yeah. I mean, rare and ones that sell for a lot. I mean, I found Battlestar Galactica game.
Oh wow! I was just
that
thinking about that.
2005-ish came out.
The new
sure.
one. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the new one.
Edward
I thought you were talking about that's the classic Battlestar.
And it's a massive game because there's a lot of little cardboard chits and there's lots of cards, there's little plastic ships, and it's a pretty intensive game. And I think I picked it up for under $20. It was probably $14.99, something like that. Turned around, sold it for $125.
Right on.
So
Nice.
just
How much is the Mad Magazine game worth?
Dude, well, you don't know. I mean, it depends on the condition and stuff. But
I had one of those when it came out, and I was stoked on it. But it's just dumb. It's not even fun.
Speaking of like card games and stuff, the original series and the reboot in 2004 both had a card game and like a baseball, basketball type of thing. But the museum actually had somebody make a physical, a replica of the card set, so you could play the cards there at the museum. They would let people play.
For Battlestar Galactica?
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of that game. It's not Sabak, because that's
I think-
Star Wars. But
the one with the triangle. And yeah.
Their gambling game.
Yeah, I think it was something like that.
gambling one.
Yeah, it was basically their
I
version of
thought you
poker.
meant the one where it was like the basketball.
Yeah.
No, but that's with boomers wearing shorts.
Well, and the
They got
funny,
those cloth bike helmets on.
you know, the funny thing about that though is the name of both of those games swapped on the series. In the original
How
series,
could you possibly know that, Todd?
because I worked at the museum when they did that
Oh, man,
exhibit.
that is so great.
The curator of the show of the museum told me this. He's like, yeah, in the original series, the card game was called this, and then the basketball variant
Sure.
was called that, and then in the 2004 series, they swapped the names.
Lazy writing.
So they just wanted to change things up, I think.
Yeah, maybe so.
So, yeah, what do we got going on?
Yeah. Hey, you guys want to talk about video games?
Let's do it. Yeah.
Kind of your wheelhouse, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So what's everybody's go-to first game ever, either arcade, console, whatever? What was your jam back in the day? I think we're all about the same age, right? Emilio might be a lot younger than us, but
I think he's a millennial. We're Gen X for sure.
yeah.
don't really
So
know.
for us, it's probably going to be the stand-up,
Like the Atari.
drop Pong, and
No, Pong is a little bit before us.
was it?
Yeah, Pong was like
Okay.
late 70s. We were little
But
kids.
Space Invaders.
Okay.
Like the 2600
Asteroids.
was huge for us.
The 2600 was
Oh,
big
sure,
for
sure.
us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frog.
Yeah, but
I was
even
like
you
I was
know,
like 6 or
Berserker.
7 when that came out.
Berserker.
Yeah.
Of like the home consoles, my stepdad borrowed his friend's. He had a Pong system, a home system. It was just a little thing about this big, and they had 2 wired connections to it with little knobs on it, and dug the shit out of it. And then like next thing you know, we had an Atari 2600 with like 6 games on it, and I don't know how expensive it was back in 1977, but I was told that I was only allowed to play it when either my mom or my stepdad were home.
what? Because it was
So
too
you-
violent.
It was no, it was an expensive piece of equipment. They didn't want me breaking it.
Oh, yeah.
They wanted supervision on
It had to be $100 back then, right? I think it was.
Yeah. What's that in today's dollars?
A lot.
Like
Yeah.
$500. That's what a console costs,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But dude, we were poorer back then. There was not enough as much money in the economy as
Yeah, I
today,
don't.
right?
Not every one of my friends had one of those. I think I was one of like 3 people on my school bus.
We
that
were the
had an
only
Atari.
ones in the neighborhood with it, so we had all the
Yeah,
kids.
my
When we
neighbors.
first got it, all the neighbors would come over.
Yeah.
Well, I want to turn. I want to
But
turn.
I think my favorite Atari 2600 game was probably Combat. I loved playing the tank game.
The
Combat.
tank
Because
game
it
was
had multiple
fun.
Combat
games on
was
it,
great.
right?
It was like it was all like it was either tanks or there was I think there was also jets
There
on
was
there too.
jets on there.
26 in one cart. Those were the best.
Yeah.
This is before all that, but yeah, I think it had like on one cartridge it had like different variants of the same game, but it wasn't like the 26 in one like you're talking about.
It came a little later. Yeah.
Those came out like in the 90s. Those weren't a thing before
Yeah.
that.
My favorite was Adventure on the Atari 2600.
I never got into that one.
Yeah, I played that.
Driving around the dungeons, and then there's the dragons that show up and try to get you.
Yeah.
That was one of the. That's the game that isn't it the game that's featured in the Ready Player One? Isn't that the Atari
Yep.
game that
Yeah.
they have to?
That's the one.
Yeah.
Geez, there you go.
And get the sword and all that stuff and secret.
Did anybody else play the ET game?
No, it's a creature of legend like a unicorn.
Dude, I remember like playing it and like it was not easy to figure out. My brother actually read the instructions on it and showed me how to play it, and I actually ended up beating the game at one point.
Geez, all right.
It took for fucking ever though.
One of my memories, I think, it wasn't the Atari I played, but one that I can remember was we had a ColecoVision,
Right, huh?
and the Smurfs. I remember
Oh wow.
Man.
playing the Smurfs, and it was the coolest thing ever because, like, who didn't love the Smurfs back then? And just being able to play that, and then Donkey Kong on that was crazy.
Yeah, because you couldn't get Donkey Kong for a long time on 2600, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of Smurfs, I just saw this yesterday on a streaming app called Plex. They have a Smurfs channel, but it's all in Spanish.
Oh, that's interesting. I have to check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
brush
I'm
up
pretty.
on my
It
Spanish.
sounds Spanish. I could be wrong.
It's Portuguese, so just to get you.
It's crazy because I want to.
They might be Portuguese, actually.
I want to say because I was a really big video game collector, and I wanted to get the Smurfs games for the NES, but it was only in German.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was only in German. So I wonder if
This
that
Smurf
plays.
threatening me?
Yeah. I wonder.
Can you imagine what Papa Smurf sound like in German?
But I'm almost. I kind of want to. I kind of want to see this because, like, if it's German Smurf, I'm all about.
Hold up, I actually have the app on my phone. I can show you.
I'm gonna check right now.
I've got a little 2600
had a-
joystick you can connect to the TV now, and
that
it's
was
got like
amazing, yeah.
all 40 games or something.
Yeah, those are
Yeah, there's a
played it
lot
for
of
a while.
electronics where the chips got
Yeah.
smaller and smarter,
Yeah,
right?
it's all
So
one
they really did
joystick.
quickly. And video games, I think, because it became, before personal computers or whatever, it's such a household thing. The economic push behind it enabled those developments,
Yeah.
right? Because if nobody bought it, the developments would have been slowed down. They would have got here eventually, right? But video games really pushed that stuff. It was great.
Tonta. Ay, ¿no quieres jugar?
It's in Spanish, dude.
Me encantaría jugar.
Oh, yeah.
A todos nos encantaría jugar, pero no podemos jugar.
That's in Spanish. I love it. Great. Now I gotta watch it and torture my kids with it.
All I got from that was he's a player, he's a player, he's a player.
And I told you to get with me, and he stomped away.
Yeah, you can actually find the English version of the Smurfs on. I think it's on Boomerang. So
All right. First game ever though. I did play a lot of the old ones, but because I am a millennial, my first game, the thing I was mostly excited for was, and then this is kind of answering another question too, but it would probably be the Sonic the Hedgehog and Quackshot. Reason I had those two at the same time because the console wars was always the thing, right? So Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis were fighting a lot.
Yeah.
And I remember at Costco they had the double deluxe pack, and I was looking at the Super Nintendo. Everyone had the Super Nintendo. I was like, oh, this is great. But it only had one control. And even back then, man, you had to wait for a birthday or Christmas to get anything, right? So I was like, or I get Sega. It has 2 games, 2 controls. Man, that's the bundle deal right there.
yeah,
So I went
that's
with
smart.
that. So I went with that, and and later on I'll get into other questions, but
To be fair, I think the Genesis was better than SNES, but that's me.
I will agree with you on that.
Yeah, and Sonic was a good game. It's a solid game.
It's a solid
It's
game, man.
amazing, yeah. And it's gotten so crazy now. My kids love it. Kids love it. Kids love Mario, and they love Sonic, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, they got all the movies for him now, too. Sonic.
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mario's
Forget about
like
that. Yeah.
$1 billion or something. How much did they make?
And I saw that movie a couple weekends ago. I saw it opening weekend, and I was expecting it to be kind of, but it was actually really good, and I didn't hate. I mean, everybody was hating on Chris Pratt playing the part of Mario. Like, he's gonna fuck up the voice, blah 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 blah. It wasn't terrible. I wouldn't say was it the best ever. No, but yeah, it was entertaining.
It served its purpose, and kids love it. They sold me with the Mario Kart, man. When I saw them,
The
guys
Mario Kart scene was really
when
excellent.
they were racing, I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I watched Kong, Godzilla vs. Kong the other day. And at first I'm all like, man, the dialogue, blah, blah, blah. And I'm all like, Moskowitz. It's Godzilla versus fucking Kong. This is not Citizen Kane, dude. Relax. Relax. It's okay.
You
You
want-
just enjoy the giant monster.
Sit back.
You want to hear something funny?
No.
I saw
It's
that
like
movie.
I'm not mad at Mario Brothers for missing an accent or something. It's like,
Yeah, see?
fuck, just have fun, man.
Well, and they
okay.
actually made fun of that whole thing in the beginning of the movie. Like the Mario and Luigi were doing a local TV commercial, and they did those voices.
Yeah.
And so then when the commercial, and you don't realize it's a commercial at first, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, they're doing the voices, and then the commercial's over, and it's like they're speaking their normal voices. Like, oh, okay. And then the guy who plays their dad is the original voice actor for Mario.
Oh, geez.
Charles.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed it. It was like I said. I think Robert Kirkman actually said it best in an interview I heard once. He said that "fuck you, it's for kids. Relax.
Oh,
Don't fall in. Don't get too upset over it because it's not meant for adults. I mean, adults can be entertained by it, but it's really for kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, everything evolves, and you have to step aside, right?
And leave room for the next generation to enjoy it. You know, don't be such a prick about it.
Yeah. Well, are you guys both console guys rather than PC gamers, or?
I initially was a PC gamer, and then I realized how much cooler the consoles were as far as the controls. And I
Feels so good in your hand.
well, let me rephrase that. I had a console
PS2 made
first.
the best controller, then everybody jumped on board because
My first paycheck ever went to pay for my original my original NES, and I had the Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt combo cartridge.
You're lucky. I got the cereal, man, because my dad couldn't buy me the thing. Remember the Nintendo cereal?
Oh, dude, that stuff.
I was in the back, like,
dude,
really
wasn't
got me
that just
cereal.
basically Captain Crunch with like different shapes?
Yeah, I got the damn Nintendo cereal.
It's the stuff. It's the stuff that's made with like fiberglass and opiates.
Yeah,
Cuts the shit out of your roof and you get all sugared up.
Nice.
I have a fun story. If you're on Nintendo right now, I remember Contra. Everybody remembers Contra. Mm-hmm. I was so excited. I was so
Konami code, man.
I was so excited for that game, but I didn't know what it was called. I was young. I just knew I had a Nintendo and I needed this Contra game. So we go to the video place where you rent games, and I rented Rambo. Rambo. I was like, oh yeah, because it's Rambo. The guy looks like, obviously looked like Sylvester Stallone, right? Contra. And the other one looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger. So I was like, what? This isn't a game. This is the game I wanted. So,
oh man,
Contra forever. Every time I see Contra, I have this bad vision of Rambo, because Rambo was horrible.
Pavlov, yeah.
So and I had it for a whole weekend, man. The whole Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Rambo.
So how long did you play it before you're like, this sucks? So you just put it back.
Dude, and you couldn't do nothing about it, because like you rented it and you had to get the most of it. And
you never took it back and said, I rented the wrong game?
Oh man, Contra was so hot. They're like, yeah, that's
you're never gonna see
on
it.
a Friday,
people were paying late fees for that game.
Or they just wouldn't return it and just flat out buy the damn thing from the rental place, right?
Right.
For $100.
Yeah, get taxed back then, and $100 for a cart.
Yeah.
And we had Command Center in Renton for an arcade.
Do you remember that
time spent at
Where was that located?
Where the Fred Meyer complex is now.
Yeah, okay.
It was a Sears.
I remember the Sears.
I remember Sears.
Thing, yeah.
One of my ex-wives used to work at the Sears there. So
That's the Sears. I have a photo on my Facebook page of me shaking Darth Vader's hand, and it was at that Sears.
Right on.
But do you guys remember Mike? You grew up here in Renton, right?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember the video store that was across the street from the cemetery?
Yeah.
That's the first video place that we ever rented
It
from.
was there for quite a while.
It was there for until like the 90s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I was mass video places.
Yeah, remember that? That was an
That was like an old.
industry.
It wasn't a big name place. This was.
It was an independent.
It was very much an independent.
And we had Video Vault and Skyway for mass.
We didn't.
I remember Video Vault.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's the place I remember going looking for movies and stuff, and when I was a kid.
Yeah.
we had Babes up on Broadway in Seattle. That was the closest arcade we had.
Sure.
And they would sell you hamburgers for like 25 cents too, because they were just
man.
everything was a quarter.
Yeah.
It was like,
But
were
you
they
were
gut,
just dumping quarters.
they were just gut bombs, weren't they?
Do you remember Herfey's? Anybody remember
Yeah,
Herfey's?
yeah.
Herfey's still around.
I think it's different, but
It's not the Herfey's. Is what you're saying.
Yeah,
Okay.
but not the same
OG.
as when I was a
Budget.
kid.
The OG, yeah,
But
the
it was
original.
a budget burger, and it was a small little sandwich.
It's like the
Almost like a
AM
slider
PM
type thing,
gut
yeah.
bomb. The midnight, and like they've been sitting under the hot lamp for 5 hours. They're like basically
when you're a
hockey
kid,
pucks.
those are the
like,
best.
no,
I'm
kids don't
hungry.
care.
25 cents?
Yeah, I'll still eat that. Sitting on the hot lamp.
Just keep dropping quarters in the machines, kids.
Man.
You know.
I mean, 8-bit they have pizza and beer, so
Yeah.
Yeah, that's come a long ways, man. Yeah.
I fucking love that
It's
place.
Perfect. Yeah. That's just perfect.
When they first opened, I was in there all the time.
Yeah,
Just 'cause
before they got
I just-
AC, dude, it was rough.
Oh,
because all those games just churn out heat, dude. Except
That's how you know
pinball,
you're
I
a
guess.
loco when you remember no AC in there. Oh my
Yeah.
god, I remember those
Yeah.
nights. Big fans.
Rough.
Didn't they just have like desk fans everywhere?
Yeah,
Open for
they had fans everywhere.
Same thing that Kenny had at his market. Last summer there was like desk fans on top of like the coolers and stuff. Wasn't really pushing anything but hot air around. So.
Well, what was the best arcade game back in the day? Was it Asteroids? Was it
I'm a Defender
Pac-Man?
guy.
Star Wars, man. The old Star Wars Vector game was my absolute favorite.
That is a good game.
And Tron was the other one.
Oh, the Star Trek or the Star Wars one was cool. Where you like
you had the flight yoke, yeah.
The Star Trek one is cool too, man.
Galaga was one of
that was also very good. Yeah,
Galaga. Dig Dug.
Yeah, Dig Dug's fun. It's really gross if you think about it. You know. But I it's a Williams game because I really like the Williams.
Yep.
So Robotron 2064. I really like.
I think arcade games really got in their heyday in like the early 90s, didn't it, or late 80s? Would you say?
For which one?
Like just arcade arcade machines. Just cabinets.
I remember you could find them at 7-Eleven. One of my favorite things of all time that I found was I was at high school at Evergreen, right here in like White Center area, and I remember walking into this like mini mart and I saw Mortal Kombat for the first time.
Oh man, yeah.
And it was like real life motion cap, and I was like, "What is this?" And we played World Heroes, Street Fighter 2, and all that.
Sure. Right.
But Mortal Kombat, that's when
I remember when the Godfather's Pizza up on Sunset. It's no longer there now. It's like a takeaway place, but I think they got Mortal Kombat, and all I remember is we're going in there. Our family used to love going there on weekends and get the giant Coke pitcher thing, and next thing you know, here's Mortal Kombat coming from the game room. I'm like, what the hell is that? I go and I was like, Mom, can I have some quarters? Like, yeah, go ahead, get out here. And I go and see this game, and like I was like, wow. Those are real people. These aren't pixels.
Fatalities. It just took it to the next step.
And then when you see the fatalities, you're like, ooh, this is violent too.
This is great. It was a game changer. I mean, I remember putting a quarter on top of that machine, like next.
I'm next. Yeah,
that was a thing, right? This is my next game. Street Fighter though, that was the two guys, right? If you had a 2-player,
Ken and Ryu.
Ken and Ryu.
Yeah, me and my buddy Nick, man, he worked at QFC on Queen Anne, and his girlfriend, who was quite a bit older, worked there too, but he was living with her, and so we would go hang out at her apartment while she was at work after he got off, have a few beers and stuff, but we'd always end up at the 7-Eleven on Queen Anne, and they had the Street Fighter game, and I just remember spending hours in the 7-Eleven, being like 18, 19 years old, because you can't get into bars and stuff. Right. It's like you can only sit in somebody's apartment so long drinking before it gets old, but a lot of quarters for the Street Fighter.
Yeah. And then I think there's still like Street Fighter Olympics.
Oh, really?
That game's a worldwide phenom. It is.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Now with today's gaming, the esports side of things is insane. Tournament and
that's another thing he does. He does he does game streaming too.
I do game streaming.
Yeah, do you like Twitch stuff?
I do Twitch. I do high school competitions where all the kids we're like their mentors, and we just kind of have a setup just like this, and we're just there to watch, make sure they know what they're doing, instruct them through CTE classes, and because a lot of CTE was really hard to get into with robotics. A lot of people just it sounded cool, but it like when you really took the class, you were like, all right, we're not messing with robots. What are we doing, right? So with highschool.gg, we introduced CTE with the whole business aspect of production and what it takes to go into the business with what is it called, the ASB or not DECA? With DECA, right? Yeah. Not ASB, DECA, and we got it to work, and we found a loophole. And the loophole, it's not bad. It's just basically we're gonna help the kids learn things that they want to learn, that they're excited to learn. Right? It's not like let's go play video games and win all this money. No, actually, you need to learn how to plug that one into that and how that works, so then you can talk. How to do production, how to self-market. So it's like, so when you break it down like that, teachers are like, oh,
sure,
okay.
And the goal is to get people in love with learning.
Exactly.
Right? Because once and teach themselves how they best learn.
Yeah.
Right. So because once they do that, the subject matter is secondary.
Right.
It's
But these kids they're smart, man. They're teaching me stuff.
What games are you allowed to play with them?
So they really crack down on like violence and stuff. So no CS:GO. Sorry, guys, but you can play
Counter-Strike, by the way.
Counter-Strike. You can play Valorant, which is like Overwatch. And you can play Overwatch too. Yeah. You can play Rocket League, and thankfully they let us do Smash Bros. But those are the games that, and then other sports games and stuff. But the popular ones are Smash Bros, Rocket League, Overwatch, or Valorant.
So Rocket League, that's the one that's like soccer with cars, right?
Yeah,
that is such a cool game to watch. I've never played it, but I've watched people. I've watched you play it, and it's just like this looks like a lot of fun, but I don't know.
I picked it up one day and it's like it reminded me of NBA Jam. Do you remember NBA Jam or like Arch Rivals?
Sure.
Did you guys play? Right. Oh, here we go. Ice hockey. yeah, ice hockey. All right, on ice hockey, right, where you just like beat your partner up and then you're just laughing because you get the puck and you get to score. So any of those type of games, it is competitive, but it brings this like, you got me and laugh, right?
Yeah.
Versus like a really sophisticated Madden, which like I used to play. Now I'm just like, nope, audibles, nope. I don't know what I'm doing no more.
So.
Here's a question for you, Emilio. Which do you prefer? Do you prefer like a LAN party style game, or do you prefer like online through the internet?
Well, because now that I do esports, I do play on the internet because that's the option that we have now. But when you set up these events, the energy and being next to your buddies, what is a game that you guys played? LAN?
Halo. Yeah.
Halo. Okay, so like let's sit down.
Quake 2 for me.
Let's sit down right here and hook that up, and that's what we do at Renton City Retro. By the way, all of our Xboxes have Halo. That you can't beat that experience.
No, it's great.
LAN parties were the best because then you're all in the same room. There's no talking shit anonymously because the guy is sitting right behind you, and if you say something stupid, he's gonna smack you.
No, what are you talking about? That's the best part. He's sitting right there, and you're watching his reaction, and you're laughing, and then the other guy's in on it.
Well, it's what I mean is you're not gonna have those kids who are like talking about your mom and stuff, Yeah,
absolutely. There's more of a mutual respect, right? But I think the energy and the fun,
it's different,
and 5 of your buddies against 5 of your girlfriends or whatever, or that experience, man,
it's so much fun.
It's so much fun,
and that's it's like because I like watching movies at home with headphones on, but there's something about experiencing a film in a theater of people. Right?
Yeah.
There's just something human about that adds whatever that is.
Becomes an event, right?
Yeah.
Have you guys ever done any of those like the thing where you can like watch with other people from different locations, like through like I think Disney Plus has it and Amazon Video has it,
I know what
where you
mean.
can watch with other people.
Yeah.
That was big on COVID, right?
Yeah,
like little watch parties.
Yeah.
No, I've never done it, but like it's almost like back in the day when you used to be on three-way with your buddy and a girl, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and what I've done during COVID, what we did was we would play like we would play Jackbox games over like Discord, and when someone would screen share the game board, the video game board, and then everybody else would have either a second monitor or a different device to be able to play the game. It's always fun.
Yeah, it's something I would like to do for like D&D. I know you can do D&D online now, and because sometimes it's hard for all of us to come on a table, but that would be something. Yeah. I'll be open to that.
That's something I've never actually done. The only time I've played any kind of tabletop where you had to create a character sheet and whatever else was I think it was called White Wolf, which was basically a werewolf D&D game. And because it was the first time I'd played any of those types of games, I wanted to have some fun with it because I just like my guy's gonna turn into a werewolf at some point. I want to have some fun with it, so I've made my guy into a were-chihuahua. So he went from being like this 6 foot tall, like burly dude who's like a bouncer at a club, and he like shrank down to be like Danny DeVito with big buggy eyes and gnarly teeth, and the people I was playing with didn't think it was too funny, and I was like, what? Yeah, I didn't end up continuing to play.
No, that's too bad. I haven't played D&D since I was,
never got
12 or 13. But
lots of friends have played it, but I've never played.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. And I did relatively recently before the pandemic.
Yeah,
in a downtown Renton.
Travis got me into a game. Travis and Trina.
Oh, sure.
If they're watching, hopefully they are.
I get.
He does a lot of Shadows and Brimstone, which is a locally produced game. I think it's Flying Frog Games, I think is the name of it, but they're sort of in the vein of D&D, but they give you like specific missions to go on and stuff like that.
So like 20-sided die and like
it's still
character
roll
sheets
for
and all that.
stuff, and it's kind of a smaller version. You still
I want to
have
cast magic missile.
roll for initiative. There's not a lot. It's not a lot of magic
Are there girls there?
users. Yeah, we've had girls play with us. So.
Where's the Mountain Dew?
Yeah.
It's not even a time that's hard for me. I would love to try it, but just it's a lot of
Takes a lot
commitment.
of
It's a time
Really.
It's a lot of time.
That is an attractive thing about doing it Zoom wise.
Don't
Yeah.
people like do D&D on Twitch?
Yeah, they do. There's
I've actually I've started following someone I found through Instagram. I like their videos, and I do a D&D game on Twitch. Come and subscribe. And I've never actually watched it though.
I'm not sure how gripping that is if you're not involved in it, but maybe.
I would imagine it's not much different than like watching anybody play any game, really, or a podcast for that matter.
D&D's just not a fast-paced game.
It's
right?
not. No.
I think D&D is on the characteristics, right? It's how an interesting individual is that.
And your DM, how good your DM is too.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Because then you get real reactions from your players. It's great.
One of our ideas was like, cause we've been toying with it, and like, well, yeah, we should do a D&D. Like, what kind? I don't know, some hood man from Renton. I'm like, oh, okay,
Dude, a Renton centric like tabletop game.
Yeah. That poop on the sidewalk?
Yeah.
Or is it
Gotta
a
avoid the
gelatinous?
Hey,
the gelato.
the first
Yeah. Somebody drop an ice cream cone or
the first thing you have to do is you have to deliver a guitar pick to Jimi Hendrix's grave.
nice.
Oh man, there you go.
Kind of Frogger your way through downtown Renton. Avoid the poop.
Make sure you're
I
going
mean, downtown Renton is not. This is not
Avoid the
Paris.
construction.
We don't have the poop problem that other great cities of this
Yeah.
world.
and you have to have the one-way streets in the game too. You have
I'm
to.
just whamming the Ganges, boys. The Cedar's wonderful. Yeah,
Nice.
That's different.
yeah.
I can see Charles coming up with that game.
Just not a big enough market for that.
For super specific.
Oh, dude, come on!
Super specific.
If you market
Renton,
it, if you
city
market
of-
it,
We're working on it.
if you market it with the Hendrix family and the Seahawks, I'm sure we'll get,
I'll pay that licensing fee.
get the
I'm
Seahawks
so
on
for
board. I'm
some
sure you'll have people jumping on it.
Postcards, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so what's the best console of all time?
Wow.
Best console of all time?
Well, we said we weren't going to do console wars. What's going on here?
No.
Honestly, I think PlayStation has been the leader in the last few years. Don't you think?
Well,
Yeah, I mean,
was
you
the
had-
first to
you-
get like 3D though, right? Because you couldn't do Doom. Remember they had Doom 3 on Xbox One? That was impossible. That was impossible.
No,
but
3D was on the Super Nintendo. Wolfenstein.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, Wolfenstein and
PC
and
too.
It was
GoldenEye, right?
PC first. It didn't it got
Yeah.
ported later,
I
but
guess
yeah.
you're right.
Because
PS2 didn't have any of that, right?
Wolfenstein 3D came out in 1993.
And that was Nintendo 64, right?
No, it's PC.
PC.
It
Oh,
was a
The
DOS
PC
game. It was
yeah,
a DOS
DOS.
game.
yeah.
PC, Super Nintendo, and then N64.
I didn't think it came out a couple of years later on console, but it was on PC. Wolfenstein 3D, I think, came out on console by the time Doom 2 was
When was the
a
first
thing.
Xbox?
95, wasn't it?
95.
94, 95, thereabouts.
Remember that big clock?
If only there was a way we could look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that was a remarkable...
Wait,
Because we had PS2, which I loved, but it just didn't have the capabilities that Xbox did at the time. So
Yeah.
I remember the propaganda bin, right?
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, because I remember they stuffed Doom fucking 3.
Okay, so
onto Xbox,
the
and it
original
was insane.
Xbox.
That game's horrifying.
Yeah.
According to the Google machine, as Charles calls it, the original Xbox released November 15th, 2001.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. I was going to say,
So then I did graduate. Oh, no, that's right. Because you know what? For my graduation present, I had a PS2. God bless her soul.
Oh, yeah.
And then she broke up with me because that's all I wanted to do. But yeah, so yeah, you're right. 2000.
It's her fault.
It's her fault. Yeah. But
I was going to say the first major console I had when my son was sort of old enough to start playing, and of course it was all Halo when he's like, 7 or 8.
Good for it.
Right?
Yeah, it's
But
good
that
age.
was the Xbox.
Yeah.
So.
Dude,
Yeah.
did anybody else hate the fucking jumping around bullshit people did on that game? Because you could never hit anybody because they're busy hitting the jump button.
Oh, yes,
Oh,
you
yeah,
can.
you hit people.
And then when they killed you, they sat on your face.
There's some people that...
What I didn't like is how big that Xbox remote was. It was like,
Yeah.
yeah, that thing was
just
huge.
designed for?
Yeah, it was designed for.
this-
It was
And the
designed for.
PS2, yeah.
It was designed for people with giant hands like
Something.
Sylvester
I don't know what
Stallone.
they-
Yeah, like Shaq or something, man. Because
Shaq,
like
totally.
I was like struggling. I was like, what do
No,
I
it was
do
so
with
dumb, and it weighed like 12 pounds.
And then,
It was- yeah.
the S-Type
PS2
controller
was
came
so
out, and
good.
everyone was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, this is so much better."
Yeah, I
Took
love
them
the
a minute.
Xbox again.
South
Yeah,
Park.
that, man, playing like Halo with that, that's why you can hit nobody jumping. You're like, what's going on?
Yeah, no, I just really enjoyed the depth of the Halo universe, the cool voiceover.
The storyline
director.
was cool,
Storyline's
too.
fantastic. I mean, they went all out. They did.
Yeah.
Bungie was on top. I mean, my kid and I had like a making of video, and we watched it, and like all the art, Shikai Wang, and the art team, like a team of artists doing a really good work. It was like a major film. You know what I mean? The time and effort they put in that game, it's amazing.
Well, they didn't have the pressure they had now. Back then, it was like, let's make this great game, story-wise, graphics, whatever.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, hey, we need to sell millions of copies,
This is-
DLC, and all these. Yeah.
Oh, and you had to get like A-list like voice actors to play the parts either. Too back in those days, was the
It was Chuck, just like, we're over here talking.
or St. John, the guy who did Duke Nukem.
Duke Nukem.
Duke Nukem,
Yeah, but that's
yeah.
great, though. There's nothing wrong with
Groovy.
Yeah, and Blasto. Remember Blasto with Phil Hartman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never played that
it's
one.
Great. No, it's
Remember that?
hysterical.
Yep.
Yeah.
Phil Hartman, rest in peace,
Oh, what a
man.
guy. One of the funniest
Dude.
people of all time. That guy was great.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what
I think other than like PlayStation, I think my next favorite console was the Wii, and I truly believe that Nintendo designed the controls because people were doing a lot of this when they were playing on their NES. Moving their hands, trying to get the guy to jump.
Oh yeah. Broken LCD screens. You gotta love it, man.
Has that technology, and then what was the Xbox version of that?
The Kinect.
The Kinect, yeah.
Has that technology stayed with the modern console, or did they drop that?
So now I think they moved on to VR now.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Similar controllers, but yeah.
Do all major consoles support VR?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
I don't think.
Wait, does Xbox have VR?
No, Xbox doesn't. Sony leads on the VR.
All right.
And then HTC, and then Metaverse. Right?
I have a Meta
Jeez.
headset.
Yeah, those are. It's a whole different
Dude.
thing.
It is a different
Let
There
me
was
tell
times-
you, the Star Wars game on VR is fucking epic. I love that game.
Which system is that on?
And it's on all of them. I think all the VR headsets have that game.
Yeah,
I think.
and then they have like these special ones that you only see like at amusement parks that are like insane. Like you get in this whole ride and you're in the Jurassic Park world, and you're just freaking out.
Dude, there's like VR arenas where they have a room like roped off so you can't like wander off out of the room, and they also have like I last time I went to PAX Penny Arcade Prime or whatever it's called now, but
Right,
they had a setup where it was basically you put these cleats on. They were like bicycle shoes, right? They had like the plastic on the bottom of the toes, and they put you in this round thing with like this kind of spherical floor, and you lean into it and you can run, in any direction, and you're having the VR headset, so you're being chased by zombies in the game.
Oh no, nope. I refuse to play Resident Evil VR till this day. I just,
No, Resident Evil's horrifying. Are you kidding me?
I mean, I have high cholesterol. I don't need no more, man.
And you only get like 2 bullets. In Halo, you're like carrying 4,000 rounds,
Grenades everywhere.
You'll go an hour between bullets in that game.
When I got
your knife breaks, it's like no.
When I first got my Meta VR headset, one of the things I wanted to do is I wanted to hook it up to my PC and I wanted to play Minecraft with it, and I didn't realize how dizzy I was going to get playing Minecraft.
Yeah,
because if you don't figure out the sensitivity of your controls, you're just going to spin in circles.
It messes with you.
And it fucks with your equilibrium.
Is VR here to stay?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I've seen some of the new stuff. I have a friend that works at HTC, and like now with the new VRs, they're glasses, right? You put them on, they're glasses, and then you hit a switch and you can see. You can walk around, you don't run into things anymore. You can just go to the kitchen real quick, cook something, and get back on. Boop, you're back in.
Wow.
So it's here to stay. It's going to get more advanced, and it's going to get to a point where like it maybe be like Ready Player One, right? You just want to plug in and you stay.
And the metaverse actually, they have comedy shows. They have MMA fights you can go watch. They have
Zuckerberg ain't funny.
no, I'm serious. Dry Bar Comedy does a VR comedy show, and I've yet to actually catch one of those. But I've seen like Pete Davidson did a special on Meta.
Of course he did,
and super funny. And basically, they put a camera in the middle of an actual comedy club. And so when the comedian comes in and says hi to everybody, and then looks directly at the camera and says hi Metaverse, and then they do their thing, and it was really cool. I need to get using it again more. It's just sitting and collecting dust on my floor. But if you ever want to come over and check it out, Mike, you're welcome to. But actually, both of you guys are welcome.
Is that Ready Player One where they buy like real estate in the metaverse, or is that a? Oh no, that's
you can. No, you're thinking of
Neil Stephenson or whatever. Never mind.
Well, you weren't buying property or anything, but you can build your own stuff in the metaverse. Somebody
it's
actually
going that way, right?
It is going that way. And it always reminds me of like back when I was younger. There was like this thing called Hop a Hotel. Like you create your little avatar. Even PlayStation did that for a while, where you create your little avatar. You can go metaverse and you can share games and just kind of interact. But now when you put these glasses on, it really feels like you're there. So if you're a person that wants to escape the real world because you have your friends in this fantasy world, right?
I can see it happen. I can see that happen. I just make it very enticing with.
I would definitely live in the Oasis if I could.
All these kinds of things.
Watch out, girlfriend. Metaverse is coming for you.
And has anybody here tried those headphones that are like bone?
The bone conducting headphones?
Yeah. Anybody tried those?
I bought a pair that I thought were bone conducting, but it turns out they weren't. No. Because I chinched out. I got like $25 ones, and they were just really. All they were just normal headphones without the giant foamy thing attached to it. It was just the tiny little speakers right next to your ears. So, but the actual bone connecting ones, I guess they like right on your temple, I think, or just.
But I could see that, like you're describing with the VR, just glasses. Mm-hmm. So instead of having a giant contraption or whatever, that kind of is too noticeable. That way, it would just be very. Sleek and very
because the VR headset is heavy, and after you've been playing it for a while, it does kind of like start sliding down your nose. Like if you're having, how when you have your glasses on, they start to slow down like this, and you have to keep doing that, pushing it back up. The same thing with the VR headset, and even if you tie it down tight, it still kind of rides down your nose.
Yeah, this new one, man, you'll be amazed. Like it
Are you going to have it at Renton City Retro?
We don't have, I have access to it, but we are so jam-packed at this convention, I wouldn't know where to put it. But for SummerCon, which we're working with Steve too, we're going to have it there.
SummerCon's packed.
Yeah. But we have 20,000 square feet of gaming there right now.
Didn't they just announce like Jonathan Frakes is going to be at SummerCon?
Yeah.
The list of special guest stars is unreal. It's unreal.
The only person they don't have from Picard is Sir Patrick Stewart. And they have everybody else on the show.
He's out defeating the Borg that day.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That last episode, holy shit, man! Have any of you guys watched the final episode of
I
Picard?
haven't seen any of that. So, but I'm gonna. So
Yeah. Please.
It kicks you square in the gooch, and then like pulls on your heartstrings and everything. So it's great.
About Mandalorian.
Oh, it is the series finale for Picard was above and beyond better than the season finale of Mandalorian.
Well, it's apples and oranges. Is that
No,
cherry
it was
than that apple pie.
No, I'm serious.
They're both great.
The season finale of
It both
Mandalorian.
tastes good. It just depends what flavor you want.
Well, what I'm saying is the season finale of Mandalorian was kind of underwhelming for me, and I love that
They packed
show.
a lot into it. They packed an awful lot into it.
It kind of felt like they were rushing to.
It was like
They needed 2 more episodes.
Right.
I think what it is they're not done with the storyline. It's basically a cliffhanger. There wasn't a final scene. It was like, okay, stay tuned until next season
But that's
because
not
more's
the end of
happening.
The Mandalorian, right?
They're still doing season 4, I believe, but I don't think there was even an end credit scene on that.
Oh.
I don't think there was.
No, there wasn't. No.
Yeah. No, they're gonna chill at his little cabin
Yeah, no, it's great. Huh?
Yeah.
by the big tree.
Yeah.
You know,
Just the whole
next season, Grogu's gonna have a full
topic.
beard, and
Oh my God, yeah,
they'll have to shave it like the beginning of
One Piece
Boondock
and
Saints
shit,
2, where
yeah,
they
skip
cut all their hair
years.
off.
I just wanted to see him get his armor.
Oh, dude, I was so looking forward to him getting the Beskar armor. He got something this season, but it wasn't like the full plate armor.
They did.
Yeah,
They
it was
got a
like
lot done this season. They really
He
did.
got
Like a heart protector, a little chest protector.
chest plate, yeah. He basically got that piece of metal that Marty McFly shoves underneath his parka.
Yeah, that's pretty much what he got.
Yeah. The Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, fistful of dollars.
Was it Fistful of Dollars?
Yeah, that was a reference to Fistful of Dollars. Yeah.
$12.
Yeah.
So
Which I love those spaghetti westerns a lot.
hell
a
yes.
lot.
Yeah.
I kind of fell out of favor with Mr. Eastwood when he just did a weird on-stage NRA.
the talking to the empty chair
Yeah,
bit.
it's like-
Yeah.
The pick
And
on
then for all
Obama.
the things that I disagreed with President Obama about, which are
Plenty.
plenty,
Yeah.
it's like, that was dumb.
That was the dumbest.
That was one of the dumb.
Thing.
It's like an old person just being dumb. It's like, I want to show everybody that I'm really old and out of touch. That's the how-to right there.
It's like sticking my grandpa up on stage. It's like, just do something. Just entertain him.
Kill me, Billy.
So
Oh man.
the next one we have here is like console versus PC versus mobile. Now,
Yeah.
anymore these days, I play mostly on console and sometimes on my PC. I very rarely ever play mobile. What about you guys?
I haven't owned a TV in like 20 fucking years, so I haven't played any console games at all.
Yeah, no, I haven't. We do a little bit around the house. I am really thinking about getting the latest Red Dead, just because Bailey's been playing it a lot, and he's been like, check out this and check out that, and I'm like, oh fuck, I really want to play it again, but because we played the hell out of the first one, but
I've never played Red Dead, and
People love it.
I'm thinking about getting like I'm going to see if Steve has an old copy of it down there. I'll pick it up when I get paid.
Yeah, I thought it's either that or Grand Theft Auto for me. And I just love Grand Theft Auto.
GTA 5 has been like
it's
my other go-to game lately.
Just those giant sandbox games.
It's a sandbox, right? You grind it out. I've been grinding out for like 8 years on it, and like I'm super rich on it, by the way. So it's like
I haven't played online because every time I've tried to play online, I get like slaughtered by a 12-year-old.
Yeah, but like on Red Dead is lassos and hoes, you know. So I love it. Like I love that game. I want
lassos and hoes. That's awesome.
That's a really good game. I've thought about going back, but the only way you go back is if you have a posse, right? And this is going back to playing with friends.
Yeah.
You have friends. You can play anything. You'll have a lot of fun. You can play Division, which is like a Tom Clancy style game. You can play Grand Theft Auto and do drive-bys with your friends.
I think the last time me and you played anything together was Friday the 13th, and I just kept getting my ass handed to me by the counselors because I was playing Jason, and I was so bad at it.
There's nothing better than like killing your partner or watching your partner die. Is just like this really weird satisfaction you get.
And the deaths in that game a lot of them are fucking hilarious to watch.
That game was really good. If you guys ever have a chance to look it up,
I have the game. If you guys
the
want to check it out.
creators reached out to the creator of what's his name from Friday the 13th.
The guy who owns it.
Yeah.
The I don't know.
Yeah, well, he's like, oh yeah, it's okay, you know, no big deal. You can make. They asked him like, hey, can we buy these rights for this game? And he was like, he didn't pay no attention. He's like, but you guys can make it. Then the game became super popular. Everybody loved it. Made so much money, and then he was like, wait a minute.
Now you're making money with my
shit. So man, it just messed everything up. It's just a lawsuit. They couldn't do nothing, and then the game's still out there. You still play it, but there's no update. There's
no support for it.
Yeah. It's abandoned. It's really bad because the fan base on it was huge, man.
But it has like cutscenes that are like recreations from the movies too, right?
Yeah, and that's where he kind of was like, well, you say you said this, you didn't say that, and of course, like what I've learned,
some lawyer got in his ear, right?
Yeah, what I've learned in the industry, man, there's copyrights for everything. Like for example, if I go to like Capcom's, like, hey, I want to do this, well, we'll only give you Ken, Ryu, and Guile, but I want the whole cast. Well, then you have to apply for the whole cast later. But this is the only ones we're giving you now, and see what you do with that. So that's what I've learned, because I was a real fan of this game, and they had panels and everything, and I met some of the creators, and that's exactly what they said. It was like, well, he saw the rest of the stuff, and he's like, well, I only okayed this, but
who makes the game?
It's like Gunneck or something like that. I can't.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I can't think of it
something like
top
that
of my head, but
I have the game. I literally played it 4 times, once with him and his friends, and
he got killed so many times. I never played it again.
I got flustered. I rage quitted so hard. Oh man, I was.
He didn't even say. We did an Irish goodbye. He didn't say nothing. I was like, "Where's Todd?"
I just said, "Fuck this," and I click. I'm disconnected. I just turned my system off. I was mad. I was so mad because the thing is like, not only do like. When you're playing Jason, you're walking around. He walks like a 95-year-old man. He's so slow.
But that's the hilarity of it, right?
When you're like trying to kill people, you can hear them talking shit while you're sucking at it. Like, man, this guy sucks. Why the hell is he Jason? You know? And I'm like, fuck you. I've never played this game before. You know?
Yeah.
I watched somebody else play it for like the last 6 months. I've never actually played it, so.
But yeah, Red Dead is a good game. Definitely recommend it. Consoles, I love consoles. PlayStation is one of my favorite consoles. PC, I love. There's a lot of things you can do with PC while you're playing. Mobile, I just feel like we're being forced because kids, that's all they want to do with iPads, right? Yeah. And if you're not playing Roblox for your kids, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So yeah. I gotta fit in where I can with these kids and show them who's boss.
And the thing is, I tried doing like streaming stuff like you do, and the only games that I really play lately is either GTA 5 or Minecraft. And the one time I did a stream on Minecraft, I had a bunch of people like in the chat going, "So you like little boys?" I'm like, "The fuck's wrong with you?" "No, I just like playing the game, dude."
Oh, because you were streaming Minecraft.
I was streaming Minecraft, and I'm like old, so they're like, "Why is this guy playing this game? Is he trolling for little kids?" I'm like, "No, what the fuck?"
You're trying to get the Egypt following from the comic dads when he was playing the kid one. He had all these little kids follow him, and he's like, "I gotta change games, man."
Yeah, no, I didn't have. I don't think I had any kids. I was mostly trolls who were like, "Are you a pedophile?" And like, no, what the fuck's wrong with you? This is a game I play to relax. I just turn my brain off and just dig for hours.
Yeah, I mean, out there it could be pretty toxic, man.
Oh, dude, that's another reason why I stopped playing online. It's just the amount of toxicity online. It's just so bad.
I do like just like with the Halo.
I prefer to play with people I know.
They had a story that you could play, and it was there was a lot of high replay value also, right? It's like so it's not necessary to be in that online component necessarily.
Yeah. That's why I love Fallout and Red Dead, games like that, sandbox game where you can just fucking go explore the world if you want to, you fall into different scenarios and storylines, and there's multiple of everything. Yeah. And then you can come back to the main quest, anytime you want. But that's my jam.
Yeah. I love Fallout. So you have your little Fallout boy there. That was one of my favorite games too. I put so many many hours into it.
Me too, yeah. First with Fallout 3 and then
Oh,
Vegas
man,
was-
Fallout 3, exactly what you said. Oh, you can venture off. And well, I went to the Deathclaw town, and that was it. So I had to start over my fucking game. As I say, okay, so first time I ever ran into a Deathclaw, I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Unloaded everything, man. Everything
the first
I had.
time you got to try to fight it.
Yeah.
But you're not going to win.
No,
so.
but this was like 2 weeks worth of shit I had, right? And I fought it, and I was like, yeah.
You wasted all your ammo on this
Everything.
one thing.
And what did I do? Save it right after I killed what I thought was the only thing I've ever seen. And then I go 2 steps, and there's like 5. And I'm like, wait. I just screwed myself because I have nothing, and where I was, I couldn't leave.
Yeah.
So it was like load, get stabbed, killed, load, get stabbed, killed, load, get stabbed, killed. I'm like, I gotta restart.
That's kind of how I was when I first started playing. My little brother got me sucked into Minecraft. I first I was like, that game looks stupid. I don't want to play it. And then I downloaded the demo on my 360, and that's what hooked me. Getting the demo of the game on a console, I was like, okay, now I get it. And I've been playing it ever since. I own every version of the game, so I can play it on whatever device I have near me if I want to play.
It's very soothing for the kids. My kids started playing like all these violent games with me. And like, Grand Theft Auto, I have a really bad story about Grand Theft Auto. But when they play Minecraft, it's like mesmerizing for them, and they calm down. And it's like Zen music in the background.
I turn the music off on that game because that drives me bonkers. But yeah, the game itself is very kind of soothing.
My nephews, my son, like they're just calm. Everything's good. You can do like all your work. You can cook. Nobody's bugging you. It's like that game just really releases a lot of good energy.
Yeah, it's definitely a good game if you want to be able to turn your brain off for a few hours. If you're ADHD, it's awesome. It's really good.
I can't do it as the graphics. They just kill me.
Initially that was my problem with it too, because the graphics looked cheesy as fuck, and it once you get past the blocks and how goofy it looks, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And now you play Smash Bros. And you can get the Minecraft guy. All the kids go crazy.
Oh, really? Steve is on Smash Brothers now?
Steve, Enderman, and I think... Yeah, Steve and Enderman, right? It's the
black dude.
The black dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tall black dude, yeah.
Yeah. So that...
Always grabs the dirt blocks and wanders off. Bloop.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or in a zombie, you could be the zombie.
Oh, yeah. And the funny thing is the son of Mel Brooks, Max Brooks, actually the one who wrote World War Z, wrote a book about Minecraft, and he says it's the only video game that has the most accurate description of zombies as far as the mechanics of how they work and stuff.
Interesting.
Because they will, you kill 1 and 3 appear out of nowhere, and they will before you know it, you're swarmed by a bunch of zombies.
That's true.
All right. Right on.
Max Brooks.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What else you guys got on video games? You guys are the experts.
I play Evony, EVONY.
Do you really?
On my phone.
Is it really all the puzzles, or is it
the
you got to
puzzle
do
thing's
other
just
shit?
how they get you. No, it's a
Fuck
kingdom
them.
building thing.
Fuck them. I want to play the
Dude,
puzzle.
I get so frustrated when I get an advertisement for a puzzle game, and then I download the game, and the puzzle game is one of the few things you see in the game.
Yeah.
And you have all this other RPG bullshit. I was like, I don't want to read a goddamn story about a fucking dude. I want to do the puzzles with the bees and the dog, or I want to dig, or whatever the fuck the puzzle is. I want to do the puzzles. Leave me alone with the rest of the shit.
I always see that mobster one, that multiple choice, where you zombies chasing you. You can save the hot chick or save the mob boss.
Oh yeah.
I'm so tempted, but I'm like, no.
Yeah, it's a
Always read the reviews of the games before you download, folks, because you will see everyone giving it a 1-star. Game is not what is advertised in the ad.
But now I'm in, and I've got an alliance and shit.
Oh,
I can't
man.
leave. It's too late.
So it's like kingdom building and stuff. Yeah.
But some of them,
Isn't that the one that shows the running game where you
20 times my power and stuff like that, where it's it's not even. I mean, how?
They're paying money. They're
Yeah.
spending money, man.
Is that the one that shows in the ads? They always show like the person running down a road, and there's two gates. There's the plus 10 and the divided by
No,
2.
it's not that kind of game.
Oh, dude, that's the advert I'm always seeing. But when I download the fucking game, it's always some RPG thing, and I'm like, I'm so fucking pissed. I'm done playing mobile games because of shit like that. You don't get that kind of bullshit advertisement for PSN games that you're
and you don't
downloading.
get pop-ups either.
I play Last Day on Earth, which is a little third-person game. You run around. There's different. It's not a world building, but there's different little areas that you can travel to, and it's just a resource building. And they try to get you to in-app purchases.
Yeah.
Like, do
Right.
you really want to go around and collect all this wood, or would you rather just spend $2.99 and get all this?
It's only a couple bucks, bro.
Oh, man.
Get you, man.
So in like 2014, I had one of my last jobs I ever had was doing support for Google Play, and I was amongst the people that was giving refunds to all because that was around the time that in-app purchases became a thing. And so people were playing games and buying stuff, and they would let their kids play video games on their phones. The next thing you know, they got like a $900 bill.
Yeah.
And I had this
Just in ringtone.
I had this kid call pretending to be his dad. It was great. He was like, "Hi, my son is playing this game on my phone and charged me $900. Can you please take it off the phone so my dad, I don't get mad at my son?" And I was like, "Yeah, no, dude, I'm sorry. Just have your dad call."
Yeah.
That's like the days of taking the note down to the local grocery store.
Signed Epstein's mom.
But
Mom says I can buy cigarettes.
and the number of calls I used to get from people who didn't know their 5-year-old was playing this game and charging them $100 a pop for buying these things. But then I got this one call
My
with
dad
this.
would have beat me to death after the
Right?
first one.
God.
I got this one call where this guy was playing.
$100? Oh my god!
This guy was playing a casino style game. It was, I don't remember, it was roulette or something. And every time he tapped on the thing, it charged his card $100. And he kept tapping it, wanting to buy this
terrible.
thing. And it wasn't showing that he was buying anything. So he called into support because he wanted to get a refund. He had maxed out his card. It was like $500 shy of $10,000.
Oh, that's
my
terrible.
God.
Bummer.
And
What does a company do like that? Like,
well, Google tells you to contact the developer to get a refund. But if you can't get a hold of the developer, because a lot of them are shady as fuck.
Yeah. Well, they're sitting in the middle.
Google
of
it's called roulette. I would be scared.
It was funny because most of the time, and the other thing is we would have notes on there if this person's called in before, if they've gotten refunded before, if they're an
That's
abuser.
good to know. I'm that guy.
If they're an abuser of I didn't know my child was playing this game. Well, we've already given you $100 rebate, refund last week. No, we're not doing it again.
Yeah.
So,
God, I felt bad when I spent like 6 minutes on $1.99 a minute sex line back in the mid '80s.
dude,
Like that was $12.
I was like 12.
and this is at this point,
Mom was like, "What the?"
Candy
Now it's called OnlyFans.
Yeah.
OnlyFans, yeah.
Yeah. Now it's OnlyFans.
But the thing is like
Shows up on your bill, by the way.
Or if you like Latin desserts, it's only
Yeah.
blonde.
OnlyFlans.
I once told someone like
I thought it was discreet.
Yeah.
It says on my bill.
I saw a meme the other day that it showed a store, an actual brick and mortar storefront, and it had a bunch of like desk fans in the window, and it says OnlyFans. I was like, this has got to be what like grandma thinks of when you hear OnlyFans. They're seeing this in their head.
Yeah.
I
have no idea.
I have no first-hand knowledge of OnlyFans, but I really like the model. I think it's a smart.
It's essentially
it really
like
is, yeah.
it's essentially Patreon, but mostly porn.
As long as there's not some of that, and I know it's all alleged. So, but the Andrew Tate stuff where he's forcing girls to be women to be on there, that's a whole different thing. That's not OnlyFans' fault.
No. The women that do OnlyFans are the one they
hopefully are kind of a self-empowered.
They're doing it for themselves. They're not working for anybody else.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how much OnlyFans takes from
is that
their
guy
share.
still incarcerated, by the way?
Yeah, I think so.
I think he's on house arrest. He got let go. Do you see him? Like, he went from looking like really thin and modern to like this big buff Bagwell type guy, like just yoked. I'm like, whoa, just being in there doing some weights.
Oh,
I guess so. Yeah.
He's doing weights to make sure the other inmates leave him alone.
Yeah,
maybe he doesn't want to be someone's bitch.
Oh no, I'm sure he's still got money stashed, right? So rich people.
Does he have access to it though?
He may, because he's probably got it stashed in like Dubai and.
They know what they're doing.
He's got the Taliban bank, of first Taliban bank of Afghanistan. It's holding most of his cash.
We don't actually know.
I don't know.
We don't know.
just some.
That's a hypothetical.
Not financial.
Hypothetical.
All right.
All right. What do you guys end on the video game? Anything else you guys want to chat about video games? Anything we missed, man?
We can talk about the top worst. And
that's on the bonus.
That's our next segment.
That's
the bonus section for all you payers out there.
Oh yeah,
get on that.
All 4 of you now, right? 4 people.
4 or 5. Yeah. Real quick,
today.
give us a rundown on D-pad.
Oh yeah, I'll give you a rundown. D-pad. It's on 2nd and Wells, right next to Fort General's Brewery.
In Renton, Washington.
In Renton, Washington. We sell a lot of retro gaming, a lot of modern gaming, and now very heavily into the TCG, which is the Pokemon cards and stuff.
Okay.
Magic cards, there's toys, a lot of memorabilia stuff there. It's a one-stop kind of video game shop.
A lot of Pops and G.I. Joe and Transformers. Last time I was in there.
And he carries a lot of, for the guys that like to spend a little bit more money, the 12-inch sideshow toys.
Dude, those are cool.
Basically movie replicas, so it's like having a person, Arnold, or
I got my Darth Vader lightsaber from Steve.
That's cool.
It's really cool. You guys got to come check it out.
So it's a store that you started. Your brother.
I started, and then I added my brother in, and then to focus more on other stuff that I do. Now he just owns it.
Nice,
and he's done an amazing job on maintaining it and adding new things to it.
Right on.
Good place to go when you're looking for new games, because the people that work there are very knowledgeable. They know. If you say, "Hey, I'm looking for this type of game. I have this system," and they'll go, "Oh yeah, we have this," and they'll take you right to it.
And you get to meet Lady, the shop dog.
Oh yeah, Lady is awesome. She is the best shop dog ever.
What kind of dog?
It's like a boxer mixed with bulldog. He loves bulldogs. He's had this is third English bulldog, but unfortunately,
Such a sweet dog.
Those dogs come with so much complications. But yeah, it's just third one. He loves Lady, and she's a sweet dog.
Nice.
Yeah, she'll want to play tug of war with you if you come in.
Oh yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah.
She'll bring you the toy too.
Nice. All right. Well, to end on something positive, I found something positive this morning.
Sweet.
Our man Kevin Smith, who I think we all enjoy, made a post this morning. I don't know if you guys saw it.
I don't think so.
But apparently he's been going through some mental health issues and actually sought out some professional help for it.
Good.
So he put out this post this morning talking about it, kind of letting everybody know, and he had some great wise words that he threw out, and he said there's always help out there. Kids, don't be afraid to ask for it. Seek it out. At the other side of the hardest thing you'll ever go through lies your joy. Seize it, because you deserve happiness in this very short life we're lucky enough to get. As bad as troubles can get, it always can get better. Don't waste your time obsessing over the unchangeable past. Stop worrying about the unknowable future and focus on this moment, the here and now, and breathe. And then apparently before he left the place that he was in, his therapist wrote down some words on some index cards that he says he's going to carry with him for the rest of his life. The first one read, "You do not have to earn love." The second one said or read, you are lovable simply because you exist. And he said, it's a simple sentiment, true, but one I've needed to hear for decades. And I hope it brings you as much comfort as it has brought me. And man,
I didn't realize he was in that dark of a place.
yeah, I mean, you never know, right? He's a successful dude. He's a funny dude. He's got tons of friends. He's got people that follow him, all that.
He's very self-deprecating, though. I've been listening to one of his like 17 different podcasts for like the past decade, Hollywood Babylon, which is a great podcast, and he's always shitting on himself, and I've often thought, I was like, why does this guy hate himself so much? I mean, he does amazing stuff. You know, I love his movies. I don't understand why he thinks the way he does.
Yeah. But you never know what somebody's going through. But if you're going through something, man, seek help. There's people out, there's places out there. We're here for you. We love you. And thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy about, I heard about it, and I was just going to look it up to get the correct name for it. But bacteria, bear with me for a second, work, once they reach, some certain bacteria, once they reach a certain, critical mass, behave in such a way, like they communicate to behave in certain ways. And they hand out assignments to different ones, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, which is fascinating, because that's a really simple life form that communicates in a type of democracy, in a way. But also, scientists now looking at using that ability as a trigger to stop harmful bacteria from acting. Right? Because it's when they reach that critical mass in a human body or an animal or whatever that they take on those toxic, dangerous effects. So if you tell them not to, they won't. So antibiotics and like antibiotic-resistant bacteria and such would be a thing of the past.
Wow.
So that made me happy.
Yeah.
And to kind of touch on what Charles was talking about, if you guys need anything, you need to talk to somebody, just do a search for mental health hotline. It's 988. You can call on or text from your phone. If you Google search it, there's even a chat. You can talk to somebody online. So if you need anything, if you're just not having your mental health is suffering in any way, shape, or form, talk to somebody. Don't hold it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Take care of yourselves.
Until next time.
Until next time, guys.
All right.
Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. And if you think this episode is worth $1 or $5, the boys would love to have it. Please go to ourtownpod.store for merch or to donate now. For less than a cup of coffee, you can also join the website in the member-only area for exclusive bonus content, blogs, and more. It's just $3 a month or $30 a year. Thank you for listening to this production of Our Town Podcast Extraordinaire.